Hey everybody, Chef Craig again. Today we're going to make peanut butter cookies. One of my personal favorites and very super easy to make. One of the easiest cookie recipes you can run into. Okay, right here I have all of the stuff I need to make my cookies. Well, except for the sheet pan in the oven, of course. Now I've gone ahead and pre-measured all the ingredients, and for the most part I weighed things because with baking, weighing your ingredients is much more accurate. I have two scales, and I'm gonna do a video just on measuring things. So some of you guys will recognize this one. This is actually one of the ones that we use here at Loveland Center. Okay, and then this is a digital scale. This is what I use at home. Now, they both work surprisingly similarly. If you guys will remember, I always teach you whatever you're going to measure your ingredients into, you put them on top of the scale, then you have to make the scale say 0. Okay? And then whatever you put inside, you stop when you get to the weight that you want. Well, this digital scale works basically the same way. You see right now it's on 0. I put that on there. That bowl weighs 1.81 ounces. I turn it to 0. With the push of a button. This is much easier to use. If you got one of these at home, great. If you don't, they're not very expensive. Tell Santa you want one. But and you know, and I might get one for using at work too, because they really are pretty handy little gizmos. Okay, back over here to the making the cookies. Okay, like I said, this is a very simple recipe, and basically, and I'm gonna include the recipe. It'll be at the end of the video. Is you put all the ingredients in the mixer bowl in the order listed. Okay, well, it says the first thing to go in the bowl is the shortening. I got the shortening right here on this wax paper. I'm just gonna add shortening. Okay, and then the sugars and the eggs and vanilla. Well, I mixed the sugars in with the flour, so I'm going to go with the rest of, basically it's the rest of the wet stuff. So here's the eggs and the vanilla, 1 egg and vanilla, okay, and then the peanut butter. I use this wax paper because this is a whole lot easier to get stuff off of than the plate or the bowl, and then when I'm done, I can just throw the paper away. So, just going to scrape that off into the bowl. That's the peanut butter. And now the last thing that goes in is, now this is the flour, the brown sugar and the white sugar, and the baking soda and the salt. All the dry ingredients mixed together. Now this recipe doesn't call for that, but most recipes do, and the reason is it's very important for all of these ingredients to be evenly distributed, especially the baking soda, because that's what makes your cookies rise. And if it doesn't get mixed in evenly throughout the whole dough, you can have some funky looking cookies. So I go ahead and pre-mix those dry ingredients. You don't have to, but I'm making a small batch and I don't have any problems with it. Just gonna use this to help me get this stuff off my spatula. And I'm hanging on to that spatula because I'm gonna use it to scrape down the bowl about halfway through the mixing. There you go. Now, this mixer is very similar to the one I have at work. Same brand, it's just a different model. I've had this one for almost 30 years. Okay, I put the pegs on there and then snap it into position. Put the paddle on, raise it up, and turn it on low. Okay, it says to mix this for 1 minute on low. Actually, it says 1 to 2 minutes until smooth. Starting to come together. Now, we're about almost 30 seconds in. It's like most of the stuff is picked up. I'm going to go ahead and stop this, drop this down. I'm going to scrape this. Okay. Scraping is important because you see there's a few dry things at the bottom. The paddle doesn't quite go all the way to the bottom, doesn't quite touch the edges of the bowl. So you always want to make sure until everything's pretty mixed in, and make sure you scrape so that some of those bring everybody to the party. So I scrape it. It's just like using a window squeegee on a window. I just use the edge of that spatula and scrape it all the way to the bottom of the bowl. There's a little bump in the bottom of the bowl. And make sure that I get all the way around, all the way down, and brings those last few ingredients up into the mass. So we can all be happily mixed together. Raise the bowl up. Well, let's still got about another minute to go. Okay. Now this is starting to look pretty smooth to me, so I'm going to call it good. So this is a small batch. Now this original recipe was for 100 cookies. I've converted it down to make 25, so that's why it mixed up so much faster than regular. Well, that's it for now. Back in a little bit. Okay.